Thank you for tuning into this. Welcome to the Papi Chulo channel. My name is Chris Aponte, and today we have a pair of Nike SB Dunk High Pee Wee Herman released from 2007. The uppers need some work, but we are focused on a sole swap for this project. I will clean up the uppers a little bit for the customer. I released a short video recently on how to properly remove a cup outsole off of an older pair of Jordans or Dunks without using acetone or an X-Acto knife or anything that might damage the upper. The easiest way to do that is with this little hook from a hook and pick set. You can find a link to a set in the description below. And if you want to check out the video I was talking about, it's in my shorts. Wait, what? So satisfying. If the glue is old enough, that cup sole is just gonna come right off of the upper without any issues. No heat gun necessary. So I am starting a membership for my channel, and specifically we're going to be covering things for serious restorers, one of which is going to be your toolkit for cleaning suede properly. Some of the things in this kit may surprise you. Here's one, rubbing alcohol. 91% rubbing alcohol in a microfiber towel. You don't want to wet suede, but if you're gonna wet suede, using something that's alcohol based is gonna dry very quickly, so it's the better choice. You really should be slicing off the old glue with something sharp. A brand new X-Acto knife is the way to go, I think. If you just go straight to the Dremel is going to heat up the old glue and spread it. You're not removing all of it. There's still old glue on there. I like to use the OG polyurethane foam pads that came with the original shoe, but typically they do not fit in the new cup outsoles, so you need to make some modifications. Now, I used to just Dremel it down until it fit, but it's messy and it's kind of like guesswork. So what I do now is make sure the surface is totally debris free, and I make these decals on Cricut based off of pictures that I took of the insides of the new outsoles. Measuring from front to heel, I make sure that the dimensions of these decals are perfect, and then I put one on the top and I put one on the bottom of both of the OG foam pads. If you want to learn more about how to do this on a Cricut and a lot of Cricut tips that really help restorers, consider becoming a member of the channel, support the channel. These videos specific to things like this will probably be members only in the future, and I think that they will be very helpful for the serious restorer. Now I'm just going to take a marker and I'm going to mark all the spots that the decal does not cover. Because all the spots that the decal does not cover are not going to fit in the cup outsole. Bro, I don't know why I used that tone. Oh wait, I know why. It's because I'm from New Jersey. And that's who I am. No matter where I am in the world. I'm always going to be kind of a dick. If there are spots where the top and bottom both have red, I make sure I distinguish that by connecting them. And if there are spots where it's just red on one side and not on the other, I like to make a little line to also distinguish that. Now the decals job is done. If you're going to do this, don't buy expensive Cricut vinyl. This is the cheaper Hobby Lobby removable vinyl. The brand that you can't buy on Sundays. You heathens. The camera I'm using is not really meant for what I do here. Sometimes it just does not want to focus on the work that I'm doing, but you can see what's happening here. Anything that's red, I'm cutting off. Cutting off because it's not fitting. And look guys, this does not need to be pretty. Nobody's gonna see it. It's gonna be under the insole, under the strobel, inside the cup outsole, completely encapsulated. Usually have to make some minor adjustments at the end here just to make sure it sits flush. For this particular project, it wasn't sitting completely flush on the medial arch area, so I just had to shave a little bit off. And that's gonna work, bub. It's gonna work just fine. And now we are ready for the next step. I made a DIY, so obviously it's DIY. Dust collection system using basically parts that I had. Now I can improve this in the future, but I can also show you how I did it. Yet another perk of being a member to my channel. Keep a glue eraser around. There is a link in the description below for a set. They're very cheap and they are so handy. Taping off the upper using frog tape. There's a link in the description below for that. It's very low tack. I love using it. I love the taping process. I feel like it's very meditative. Now I'm going to apply adhesion promoter. Adhesion promoter really helps. If you follow the directions on the can, it will say to shake for 60 seconds before your first spray. Make sure all the debris is gone before you spray. Link in the description below for the one that I use. You can use Bulldog. Bulldog is like the name brand, but it's like $35 a can. This stuff here is between $12 and $15, and it does the same thing.
Set a timer for 10 minutes.
You can hear me breathing through a respirator, and you can see that I am spraying outside. This stuff stinks, okay? So make sure you're spraying outside, and make sure you're wearing a respirator anyway. Just applying a second coat of adhesion promoter.
Set a timer for 10 minutes.
I switched glue brands. I am no longer using barred super stick or anything with a high VOC. I am tired of having to wear a respirator and going into a different room just to apply glue. This is called Renia 315. It is water-based, it is odorless, and it is awesome. Again, a link in the description below. I wanted to do this close-up shot, but I really wasn't paying attention to how much glue I put on there. I put on way too much, but if you keep spreading it as it's drying, it will even out. (120 degrees Fahrenheit). That is all you need to make contact. It does not need to be hot. That is a common mistake that I made early on. I thought because I had a heat gun, I need to really jack it up. But 120 degrees is all you need. You can use a blow dryer on low settings. I love this particular heat gun because I can set the actual temperature. But if you're not concerned about being specific, a blow dryer is fine. Now, if you are interested in this particular heat gun, there is a link in the description below. I think clearly you can see that you want the glue to be even all the way around. You don't want it to be gloppy. Is gloppy a word? I'm gonna Google that real quick. It's a word. It's informal, but it's a word. Special shout out to silicone glue applicators. They are so easy to clean. I love them so much. Should I do the SpongeBob thing? Nah. If you've ever heard the phrase, bring Moses to the mountain, this is something that I struggled with for a long time, and I still struggle a little, is getting the front of the cup outsole nice and flush with the upper. Now, what I used to do is press the upper into the front and then bring the heel down, but what happens there is the rubber is going to pull away from the front. You need to sit the upper exactly where it's going to be in the cup outsole, and then bring Moses to the mountain. Bring the rubber to the upper, not the other way around. Let the contact cement do what the contact cement do. I couldn't leave the shoe looking like this with the toe box, aka the vamp, that dirty, it's like oil stains or something, and also the tongue. But what I'm using here, it's not FZ150. It's not even called a sneaker cleaner, and you may already have it in your house. Take a look at this again. Members of the channel will find out how to clean a sneaker without spending $30 on a soap just because it says sneaker in it. If you decide that you want to purchase this amazing $300 hand crank cobbler sewing machine, I did release a tutorial on how to set it up for sole stitching that will save you hours. The sewing machine will already save you hours. The tutorial will save you more hours in the setup. I think there's like a traditionalist view that you really should be using a stitching awl. If you're doing this as a hobby, sure, but if you're trying to do this as a business, man, this thing is gonna save you so much time. If you ever looked under your insole and you saw those thread ends, that's exactly what they are. They're just the thread ends for the cup outsole, and in the factories, they just use contact cement, just like that, to nail it down. That's why it typically looks like a brownish color when you lift up your insole. Anyway, thanks for checking out this video. Like and subscribe. Consider becoming a member. Check out all the links in the description below, and I'll see you on the next one.